So often I will get asked, why does a tongue tie affect my baby's sleep? Now, firstly, if you've got a baby with a tongue tie and they're sleeping great, then potentially this isn't going to be relevant for you. But for those people that have babies that are struggling with reflux or colic and they're waking very, very frequently, and you know that there's a tongue tie there, or they may have a history of tongue tie, the reason you're struggling with that is for a few different reasons. The first reason is that if your baby is still bottle or breastfeeding, so if they're under one, or if they're breastfeeding later on into toddlerhood, if we are tongue-tied or we have a restricted tongue, we're more likely to swallow air when we are feeding from a bottle or the breast. And what that means is when we swallow air, our stomach starts to churn the contents with that air. The air is then let out of the stomach with contents, which can cause aerophagia-related reflux. That in itself is going to cause some discomfort for your baby and possibly wake them up. The second thing to know about why a tongue tie might affect sleep is because when we are at rest, when we are asleep, our tongue should rest in our hard palate at the top of our mouth. Now, when our tongue doesn't do this, we're not engaging our vagus nerve, which is accessed in the soft bit of our hard palate, and that engages our parasympathetic nervous system, which aids rest and digest. So if we're mouth breathing, our tongue isn't in suction, we're not filtering oxygen appropriately through our noses, and we're not engaging our parasympathetic nervous system, which essentially means that we're sleeping in fight or flight. So there's two things that could potentially be going on here: waking or being uncomfortable because of aerophagia related reflux because of a restricted tongue, and or the fact that the tongue isn't resting optimally in the palate. Now, the best thing to do if you think this is your baby is to start some oral exercises and from Infant Feeding Specialist Guide, and get a thorough tongue tie assessment from a functional assessor who is qualified. You can find them on the Association of Tongue Tie Practitioners website. The next thing to do is to optimize feeding. Make sure that latch is nice and deep. You might have to assist that latch by manipulating your breast tissue or changing your teat size back down to a number 1, changing the shape of your bottle teat. So instead of any harsh lines or steps on the teat, you've got a nice graduation to the teat, and you're feeding your baby in a comfortable position.